Hello friends, before we start, I want to tell you that on this model, I won't show my face, but when we get to the DNA structure, I will tell you about it with my face. So I hope you enjoyed this, and let's get to it. Alright guys, I am back, and yes, I got a stick, as you see, and I'm going to tell you which words that I'll tell you and which are you seeing, alright? So follow me. So first, let us start with this white part, as you see here. This white part is called the endoplasmic reticulum, also known as the rough yard, like I said from the previous video. And the endoplasmic reticulum just packages all the ribosomes. And as you see here, these black circles, oh, my bad not to move it. These black circles are the ribosomes. And where do you think the ribosomes are made? They are all made from this small red called the nucleolus. Nucleolus, you see here, is their small pores. What it does is some proteins come through this pore, from the nucleus pore, to the nucleolus pore. My bad to move this. It's a bad habit that I keep moving it. The model, sorry. And then they just make some different shapes out of like the molecules. They don't break anything. They just form into like different shapes. That's what it does. And then also it creates a small and big ribosomes to create one whole ribosome, one big one. And that's what you see here. It's a ribosome that is composed of two smaller proteins. Not two small proteins, but like one big and one small. Yeah, as you can say. That's how it is. And then you see these black strands, you could say. With some green, but not right now. We'll talk about that later. Those are called chromation. The chromation. Chromation is just some strands that has all the genetic materials, also known as DNA, or you could say deoxyribonucleic acid. That DNA is from the nucleolus because they create the DNA with some groups of molecules to create this biomolecule, the genetic material. And then I'm going to talk about this green. You might be wondering what this is. This is called the heterochromation. Heterochromation just means like there is just some composed DNA. There's like a little bit more of DNA in some points. Not in this point. It's not specifically this point, but it doesn't matter. In those points, they create the traits, the genes. They have the genes to create traits for us to resemble. You get some traits from men or women, like the mom and dad, alright? But before it starts, I want to talk about like this, the chromosomes. The chromosomes. Before I tell you how the chromosomes are made, how it works is when it's time to give birth, the man gives 23 chromosomes, but the 23 chromosomes first use the chromation to form these X shapes. My bad, X shapes to form chromosomes. And those 23 chromosomes comes to the women cell, the baby cell, you would say, or you could say the sex cell or anything like that. That cell will also have the 23 chromosomes from the women. So they get the total 46. And that's how it is. And then they just separate and then form into a new cell for the birth, and then they just release that chromosome and back to chromation. That's how it is, and yeah, is that all? I guess so. But now I'm going to talk about the DNA structure, which you might be wondering, and I will explain it right now without the model. Alright guys, now we're going to talk about the DNA structure. So, the DNA, we know is called deoxyribonucleic acid, like I said to you. And there is also 4 bases that, if anyone knows, actually, the 4 bases are known as the nucleotides. The nucleotides are adenine, cytosine, thymine, and guanine. If you don't remember this, then just remember the letters actually. A, T, C, G. Okay? But remember I said about the word like deoxyribonucleic acid? That term actually has a meaning to DNA. Because DNA is actually a molecular structure. And that molecular structure has 3 groups that I'll talk to you about. So, the 3 molecular structures, alright, before I tell you about this, I will tell you the answer about like RNA is already gonna be given to you when I talk to you about the DNA structure. So let's get to it now. Right now, not right now. Sorry, but besides that, so the 3 groups are phosphorus, sugar, and nitrogen base. Those are the 3 groups that create this whole one-ladder skeleton of the DNA. And that's already given the answer. That's RNA, actually. That's what you call it. But DNA means you need to have another ladder to have both of them to create the double helix shape. So, what you do is make another ladder, but it's anti-parallel. And also about that nitrogen base is the nucleotide. The nucleotide determines which one is it. The adenine, thymine, cytosine, guanine, I don't know. And I don't care what it is, unless they have the traits to give it to you. Or what that's called, genes. Besides that, that's how it goes. It has to be anti-parallel, and then when it's done, all of them connects together with the corresponding bases, and then turns into the double helix shape, as you see as DNA. So, I hope you enjoyed this model and this brief explanation of the DNA structure and nucleus and nucleolus model. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye!